At 68, Steve Harvey, the man America once saw as the symbol of charm, humor, and relentless optimism, breaks his silence. For decades, he made the world laugh, hid the pain behind tailored suits and a megawatt smile. But now, for the first time, the king of comedy speaks of something darker. A private list. A list of 5 names. 5 people who, in his own words, left scars that laughter couldn't heal. It's not gossip. It's confession. From backstage betrayals to public humiliation, Steve's road to fame was paved with enemies, heartbreaks, and lessons written in pain. Why now? Why would a man who's achieved everything, talk shows, game shows, Hollywood success, reopen the wounds he once buried? As insiders whisper, this is more than revenge. This is revelation. So here it is, the truth behind the curtain. 5 names, 5 stories, each one cutting deeper than the last. Let's begin with number 5. Number 5, Mark Curry. Before fame turned him into a household name, Steve Harvey shared stages with comedians who were hungry, desperate, and ready to do anything for a laugh. Among them was Mark Curry, star of the 90s sitcom Hangin' with Mr. Cooper, a man with a sharp tongue and sharper ego. The two once shared mutual respect. But respect in comedy fades faster than applause. According to Curry, Harvey didn't just admire his material, he stole it. Steve took my jokes word for word, Curry said in a 2017 interview, his voice shaking with anger. And the worst part? He did it on national TV like it was his own. Producers and crew members backed the claim off the record. One insider said, Mark felt betrayed. Comedy is sacred. Taking someone's material is like stealing their soul. Harvey never responded publicly. He smiled through the rumors, as if silence could erase the noise. But those close to him said it stung. Behind the grin, he was furious. People think I need to steal jokes, he once muttered backstage, pacing, jaw tight. The laughter, for once, didn't come easy that night. For Harvey, Curry became the symbol of a brutal truth. In comedy, everyone's your friend. Until the spotlight shifts. Number 4, Michael B. Jordan. The feud no one saw coming. When actor Michael B. Jordan began dating Lori Harvey, Steve's beloved daughter, the internet celebrated the couple as Hollywood perfection. Steve smiled, cracked jokes on talk shows, and played the supportive father. But behind closed doors, things were different. Sources close to the family revealed that Steve had his doubts. He admired Michael's career, but he questioned his heart. He's too polished, an insider quoted Steve saying. I've seen that type before. All charm, no roots. For 2 years, the world adored them, until suddenly they were done. No cheating scandals, no public fight, just silence. When Steve returned to his radio show days later, his words were cryptic but cold. I'm Team Lori, 1,000%. That line echoed like a gunshot across social media. Michael, ever composed, said nothing. But the tension was palpable. Every award show smile, every red carpet photo afterward carried invisible weight. Friends say Steve never hated Michael. He hated what he represented. The man who hurt his daughter, the reminder that even fame and wisdom can't protect your child's heart. And sometimes, that kind of pain burns deeper than betrayal. Number 3, Cat Williams. If comedy is a battlefield, then Cat Williams came armed with fire. The raw, unpredictable comedian had always despised what he called Hollywood's cleanup acts. And to him, Steve Harvey was the enemy. The man who traded street grit for suits and studio lights. In a 2008 radio tirade, Cat went off. Steve Harvey ain't the king of comedy. He's the king of corporate. That man sold the soul of the game. The comments went viral. Overnight, two of the most powerful black comedians in America were at war. Producers whispered about backstage confrontations. One witness from a BET event said, "You could feel it." Cat refused to shake his hand. Steve just smirked, but his eyes, pure fire. Cat kept the insults coming, calling Harvey a talk show puppet and mocking his Miss Universe mistake years later. For Steve, it wasn't about insults anymore. It was about legacy. He had built himself from scratch, endured poverty, homelessness, and ridicule. Now, someone who had walked the same streets was dragging his name through the dirt. In private, Harvey called it a sad jealousy. But friends knew better. It hurt. Because behind the fame, all comedians want the same thing: respect. And Cat's words had cut deeper than any punchline. Number 2, Bernie Mac. This one still haunts him. Steve and Bernie Mac, two giants who defined an era. Brothers in comedy, partners in the legendary Original Kings of Comedy tour. On stage, their chemistry was electric. Off stage, it began to crack. As fame grew, whispers of tension followed. Bernie allegedly felt Steve was positioning himself as the face of the group. Steve, meanwhile, believed Bernie had turned cold. Insiders recall nights where the two wouldn't speak before the show. Walking on stage like strangers, only to light up the arena moments later. One crew member remembered Bernie muttering, "He thinks he's the only king here." When Bernie died in 2008, Steve's silence spoke louder than any speech. Fans noticed his tribute was brief. Others said he avoided talking about Bernie for years. But those who knew him insist it was guilt, not indifference. In a later interview, Harvey finally admitted, "I wish we had talked before he passed. I didn't get to tell him how much he meant to me." For a man who spent his life speaking, that unsaid goodbye remains one of his greatest regrets. Bernie wasn't just a rival. He was family. And losing him without peace left a wound time couldn't close. Number 1, Monique. If there was ever a moment when Steve Harvey's image cracked on live television, this was it. In 2019, the world watched as Monique, the Oscar-winning actress turned outspoken critic of Hollywood, faced Steve on his own talk show. Their conversation started politely. It ended as an explosion. Monique accused Steve of betraying their community for fame. "You sold your soul, Steve," she said, eyes locked on his. "You taught people that money matters more than integrity." The audience gasped. Steve leaned forward, voice trembling with frustration. "This is the money game, Monique, not the integrity game. If you play it wrong, you lose your house." The tension was unbearable. Years of mutual resentment about Hollywood, race, loyalty, all erupted in front of millions. After the show, producers said Steve was shaken. "He didn't sleep that night," one of them shared. "He kept asking, 'Did I handle it wrong?'" For the first time, his confident persona cracked. Because Monique hadn't just challenged his choices, she'd questioned his soul. That moment became legend. And though they later reconciled privately, the sting never truly faded. For Steve, Monique will always be the face of the question that haunts every celebrity. What did you trade to stay on top? But the world only heard half the story. That list, the one naming these 5 stars, wasn't meant for the public. It started as a personal reflection, a list Steve wrote one night in solitude after his 68th birthday, on a piece of paper he later tore in half. He wasn't naming enemies, he was naming lessons. Each person had shaped him, Curry taught him caution, Jordan taught him pain, Kat taught him pride, Bernie taught him loss, and Monique taught him truth. A close friend, speaking under anonymity, said, "He wrote that list to remind himself that love and betrayal are twins in this business. But when someone leaked it, the world twisted it into hate." The irony? The man accused of despising others was only trying to forgive himself. Today, Steve Harvey walks with the calm of a man who's seen too much and survived it all. He's still hosting, still laughing, still delivering wisdom between jokes. But those who've worked with him say something's changed. The smile is quieter, the humor softer, the ambition tempered by perspective. He once said, "Success don't change who you are. It shows who you've been hiding." And perhaps that's the point of his confession, that even the brightest light casts a shadow. These 5 names are more than a list of resentment. They're a map of his journey, from hunger to heartbreak, from betrayal to redemption. In the end, Steve Harvey's story isn't about the stars he despised. It's about the man who learned to face them and still find laughter on the other side of pain. Because fame, as he now knows, doesn't heal the wounds. It only gives them a bigger stage